I'm Vicki Davis, Martin County Supervisor of Elections. Thank you for joining us for Project Vote History. Local residents reflect on memories they have gained over the years regarding public service, the election process, and the importance of voting. Joining me today is a father and son team. We have Rick Hartman and Ransom Reed Hartman joining me today, so thank you both for being here. And we were talking earlier about the Rico Hartman family and when they moved to Martin County, and both of you had some really good history to share. And Rick, if you could just talk about when the families moved here to Martin County and why they moved to Martin County.
Well, the Rico side came in 1883 to Jensen, which at the time was St. Lucie County. The Hartman side, which was J.B. McDonald, he came in 1912, which was still Palm Beach County. The J.B. McDonald was a preacher and rode in and preached and stayed here. The Rico side were fishermen, and they had fishing houses in Titusville, Fort Pierce, Jensen, Key West, Okeechobee.
One of the largest, or the largest fishing company in Florida at that time, or on the coast here.
The way I've been told, yes, ma'am. Yeah, the way I understood it.
Yeah, I'm not good on history.
And Mr. McDonald, I think you shared also was superintendent
of schools for Palm Beach County.
For Palm Beach County.
And the first mayor of Stewart.
And the first mayor of Stewart. So appointed as superintendent of schools, I would assume at that time.
I don't know. I would think so.
And elected as mayor of Stewart.
Correct.
So you have a long history of elected officials in your family and family members running for office. And I know, Rick, your dad, your grandfather, Reed, ran for county commission and ran against his best friend. And you shared some really wonderful memories about that, if you could share that.
Well, they were best friends, and I was best friends with his sons. And when Herb Bruner beat my dad, I was mad and was told, get over it.
Yeah, so Herb and your dad ran against each other, but they were just running for the best person, you know, whoever the constituents wanted to
and probably back then it was a little more of a popularity contest, you might say, because Martin County at that time probably had 35 to 40,000 people in it, and everybody knew everybody.
Yeah.
And I guess they had an election just to give people a choice.
Sure, and that was back probably in the 60s?
I would think, mid-60s.
Yeah.
Early to mid-60s.
Probably I thought you were a sophomore, so 1960. Seemed like you said you were about 15.
Yeah, 64, 65. But we were playing football with Jeff Bruner, so.
Yep, so all in the family.
All in the family.
Yeah, and I remember you saying that Grandpa told you that Herb is a fine man, he'll do a great job. And they picked a good person to do the job as well. So
that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Yes. Very statesmanly and gentlemanly.
Yeah, just what you do with your best friend.
Yes. And history, Reed, going back even further with the family, you had other family members that were in elected or appointed positions.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, R.R. Rico was the first and I believe the only mayor of Jensen Beach. And also the building that's at the corner of, I think it's Pineapple, right at the corner of the roundabout of Jensen Beach Boulevard where it meets the railroad tracks. R.R. Rico and Henry Flagler had a good relationship, and R.R. Rico told Henry Flagler, if you bring the railroad through Jensen, I'll build the building. So the building at the corner, which I think is now, it's a restaurant now, I forget the name right now, but had his name on R.R. Rico building for a long time, and it was Ransom Wren Rico who built the building.
And he was the first mayor.
He was the first and only mayor.
Oh, Ernest Rico. My grandfather was there. His son, Ernest Rico, was the first mayor.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent. So being involved in the community is nothing new for either of you because you have a long heritage, a long line of being involved in the community, making sure that you go out and vote and let your voice be heard, and making sure that you're involved in the process of making decisions for Martin County and for the community in which you live. anything that you can share about the importance of being involved in your community?
I think
Rick?
you have to be involved. I think you have to spend time to educate yourself to meet all the candidates. And
What would you say to young people today to get them involved?
I would just say get to know the candidates, understand where they are, what their positions are. I think the other challenge is that people my age are raising families or starting new businesses or working for someone else, so it's hard for them to know all of the details and ins and outs of what's going on. Fortunately for me, I've got my dad who stays closely in tune, and I work for myself, so I can stay engaged to some degree. But I think the challenge for them is finding the time to go find the correct information, because there's a lot of information out there, but a lot of it's incorrect, or the whole picture is not being painted from my perspective.
Yeah, and I would encourage them that there's they're probably not called PTAs today, but
They are.
they're still called
Yes.
PTAs. That when you have those meetings, get the candidates to come talk to you. When the candidates have a forum, go to those forums. And I agree with Reed. I've got 2 sons, both of them have a lot of kids, so it's really tough, and I understand that. But I think the local election is probably as important or more important than the national election, because what goes on in this administration building will affect them today. I mean, right now it can affect them. So they need to get more involved.
Absolutely. Well, thank you both for being here and for sharing memories from your family and coming on down to the local level in the time that we're in now. And I couldn't agree with you more, Rick, that it's so important to be involved in our primary elections, because a lot of the decision making is made at that point.
Yep.
So,
Thank you.
oh, thank
Yes,
you.
thank you very much.
My pleasure. I'm Vicki Davis. Thank you for joining us for an episode of Project Vote History.